Hey, I'm Steph,
And I'm Alex,
and we want to welcome you to our podcast,
the Film Bros.
a podcast where we discuss the movies we love without any judgment or film snobbery. It's a twice-a-week escape where we reflect, review, and ruffle.
What's that mean? Oh, maybe that's the real punk rock.
Ugh.
Okay, we already know what's going to happen today. Hey, guys.
I get it.
Strap in, everybody. Hey, guys. We are here for the final episode of this season. Don't worry, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We do 8 weeks on, we do 2 weeks off to, get our lives together or whatever. And then we come back and talk about more movies. And we're spending our final episode today talking about a brand new movie, a huge event picture for DC, Superman, James Gunn's Superman.
I kept going Superman, ba-ba-da-ba, and Dan was like, nope.
Dun, da, 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 da,
yeah, that's the one. Thank you.
It played a bunch of times in this movie.
It did.
So yeah, I saw Superman last week, and I immediately texted Steph, and I was like, "Well, we can't not cover this, particularly right when it comes out."
Agreed.
And it's going to be an interesting one because Steph does not like comic book movies, and let me tell you, this is a comic book movie.
Yes, it is.
More so than many I've seen.
Agreed. I don't. Yes, I am an admitted hater of the superhero genre film. I'm a hater. But we'll get into it because I have lots of varying opinions on this film.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I had a great time. I'd like to put that out there. I had fun.
Yeah, I will say. Dog. Oh, krypto! I came home and I hugged my dog so hard.
Oh, was there a cartoon or something when we were kids with krypto? Because I remember
Probably.
I had this weird I remember loving
Superman.
that dog.
There was Superman the animated series.
Was that
he
what
turned
it
up
was?
on Batman the animated series sometimes.
I don't know. I just remember seeing the dog in like a cartoon or something.
Krypto. I love him. I love that he's a dog.
Me too. Love.
Except he doesn't exist. There is no dog. He's entirely not real.
What?
He's entirely CGI. There was no dog.
Oh, well, yeah, that's...
Also, he's fictional. So I don't know how to tell you this.
I thought you meant like in a later version of like Superman comics.
No,
oh
my God.
The dog doesn't exist.
I can't even think about that.
I was like, what the hell?
I woke up one day and I found out that my dog never existed.
Like the lamp thing? Wait,
I can't even think about it. Oh my God. Yeah, like the lamp looked weird. So let's jump into first impressions. Steph, you just saw it. I'd love to hear your thoughts first.
Okay, so admittedly, I'm a hater, as I mentioned, and I would say I hate Superman the most. Like at baseline,
we're off to a great start.
Like baseline, I don't like Superman as a concept. I think it's like annoying. And then also I hate superhero movies usually. And I will say this is the best iteration of Superman that I've ever seen.
Okay.
Personally. And I haven't seen a lot of it, but I saw the bad one. What's the bad one? Zack Snyder's
Man of Steel.
That was bad.
The bad one. Okay.
Well, it is bad. I mean, okay. It's not for me. Okay. I think this is the best version of Superman I've seen. It's the most I've liked it, and it's definitely my favorite casting. As someone who,
I was just going to say, I'd call this huge steps taken.
Yes, 100%. Like, I went into this expecting pure hatred. And you know what?
What?
I think it was well done.
Hey!
I think it was really good. I still think it's not for me personally, but I'm able to acknowledge the comic bookiness and the success it had in doing that. Because just because I don't love that doesn't mean that you can't do that genre well. And I think they did. I love that it wasn't gritty DC. I love that they went in a more earnest, direction, which was really fun and honestly super different and refreshing. So I loved that. I loved all the side characters. Oh my gosh, the one guy, Mr. Whatever, was my
Mr.
fave.
Terrific.
How
stole
dare
the
he?
movie.
How dare he?
Mr. Terrific. Every second he was on screen, it was just electric.
I just was obsessed. I'm obsessed with that actor, obsessed with the writing of that character. I think it's so fun.
Played by Eddie Gathegi, by the way.
Incredible name. Wow.
Yes.
I just loved him. So there was a lot to like about this movie. I think in terms of like the use of CGI and like the feel of like how fast Superman was going, how hard he hit the floor, like the I think a problem with DC sometimes is that everything feels super unrealistic, which is funny because you're talking about superheroes, but like
right.
It's like you can't feel them flying or you can't feel them like punching or whatever. This you totally can, which is amazing. So those are the things that I really like about it. This is a personal preference. What I'm about to say is don't come for me.
Okay.
Don't come for me. I am not a fan of when the people are speaking and I'm like, oh, I can like see the bubble of the comic book that would, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so not real people.
That was most of this movie. So, which is something I really liked. I actually thought to myself, like, I can see the panel.
Exactly. Which and for most people, that's why I'm caveating this. I think for most people, that's a huge positive and super fun. I don't love that style. Super fun. I don't love that style of writing, but I think it was fun. I loved Krypto, obsessed. I love Nicholas Hoult and everything he touches turns to gold, in my opinion. So love him as well.
Great casting.
Yes. Overall, the casting of this movie was really impressive. And I think like I'm just so impressed by James Gunn in general because no matter how much I dislike superhero movies, what he's able to do is amazing. It's really, really, really difficult. So I have a lot of respect for him and what he does. The thing that I didn't like, the one thing I would say,
I too had like one thing I really, really didn't like, and I wonder if it's the same thing.
Okay. I think they tried to do just a little too much at once. And what I mean by that is if we're going to go like the political social route, that's really interesting, but it got muddied and I lost the plot of it because then all of a sudden we were in black hole territory and I was like, I can't, like, how am I supposed to like give my heart and feeling and concern to the people of fake country that are
Jaranpur?
Yes. When I'm focused on a canyon of black holes splitting through the world.
So, well, one could say that it's a metaphor for a real ongoing genocide during a climate crisis.
Well, obviously. And that's the other thing is, to be totally honest, I love that they're like calling attention to that. And it does feel very in line with like how comic books are written and happen and talk about current events.
Yeah.
For me, it felt a little bit like it was hitting me on the head with it. Like, I was like, okay, all right, come on. Like, we all know.
This movie had Hawk Girl dropping Bibi Netanyahu to his death.
I mean,
it was wild.
Yeah. And I
was like, well, no other movie has done that.
It's so true. So true. And I do love that they made people think about that in general and the idea of like, you know, that conflict that we're all hearing about and aware of and whatever. But
actually, I just want to quickly amend. I think it was a Bibi Netanyahu, Vladimir Putin mashup. I think it was a Russia / Israel, Palestine / Ukraine situation.
Yeah, it felt like kind of general current bad guy vibe.
You got Elon Musk over here causing the world to explode. You got a dictator invading a country and being like, no, it's good, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people that will really work. For me, it was a little messy and a little bit like I felt like it was almost like a paint by numbers version of that. And it is such a complicated, not in this film, but in life, it's such a complicated situation that I found it like a little bit silly, like the way they handled it. And I just felt that like in the end, like Superman not showing up, even though he sent his friends, which is like chill. I was like, well, then
he delegated,
which is fine. But like, I don't know. I felt like it just all got a little bit messy, like lost in the plot in terms of like all that stuff that was happening. But did I think it was fun? Yes. Did I really like this version of Superman? Yes. Do I still not love Superman? Not really. He's kind of boring. Like he's.
Oh,
like,
I totally disagree about Superman, but okay. Yes, that's fair. It's a personal opinion. That is pure opinion. Pure opinion.
Yeah, no, this is just a me issue. This is a me issue. Like, I think a lot of people are obsessed with Superman and love Superman and blah, blah, blah. But I just think he sucks. Like, kind of is so boring. He's like, you know what he is to me?
What?
Like, of all the Disney princes, he's the, like, Sleeping Beauty, nondescript. Like, he's just like,
first of all, you're not going to disrespect Prince Philip like that.
With
Philip,
Philip
in Sleeping Beauty is actually one of the better princes. When's the last time you watched that movie?
So boring, it's crazy.
No, he's not. When's the last time you watched Sleeping Beauty?
Feather in his hair.
When's the last time you watched Sleeping Beauty?
I don't know. But
Philip is more interesting than half of the Disney princesses.
Yeah, I guess. But like, well, no, he's not. But also Cinderella's prince, like, it's like that vibe. Like, who even are you? Like, whatever. I just don't care about Superman. But I think I'm the problem because for me, the best ever superhero movie, I will never like anything after that, is, I think it ruined me, was the Christopher Nolan Batman. Like, that's my speed. That's my vibe. It's very dark. It's very gritty. It's very whatever. And I love that. And this is just, you know, Superman's not that. I don't think he's supposed to be that, which is why I think the other version didn't work.
They were trying to make him Batman, right? Exactly.
Totally.
And
which
I
is
think
like
it has
incorrect.
I think those movies had merit. And I think there were really positive aspects about them, personally. It wasn't, they weren't for me though.
Okay.
This is much more for me.
Totally. And you know what's funny? As I was watching this, I was like, this is an Alex movie. Like, it so is. Oh, okay. Can I give one other positive?
No.
This is.
Yes, please.
And this is all to say, like, overall, I think this was really successful. Like, I did like it. I'm just a hater. Like, it's
you're being very judicious. You're being very generous, and
I will say, biggest reason to go see this. The chemistry and the kisses in this is so twisted.
I literally got, like, blushed. I was like, I can't look at anyone else in this theater. I was like, oh my God, these two are so fucking horny for each other.
They are.
The chemistry is off the charts.
Like, I can't handle it. It
was so romantic. I was
the kisses were insane. I was like, oh, girl.
Get it.
I loved that. So I'm a big Rachel Brosnahan fan. Like, I love her in general.
She's great.
Yeah. I just think them cast together was a huge success, and they were fab. So that's my thought. What are your impressions, Alex?
Well, I laughed, I cried, I listened to the soundtrack on the drive home. I was like, movies are so fucking back, baby. Not just about this movie, but like, I've actually been feeling that this year, just in general. I'm like, I did feel like COVID and then the strikes, movies have had a hard time. And I just feel like this year, even though other people don't like the movies I like out there in the world, I have been really enjoying going to the movie theater this year. Like, I've just been having a great time. And I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it had one area where I really felt like it dropped the ball, and I will speak on that in a minute.
I'm so curious. Yeah.
But as someone who actually spent most of her life also feeling the same way about Superman, like, he's boring, I don't get it. Then I saw the 70s, the 70s one, and I was like, no, this is great. Oh my God. Him and Lois Lane, what a great relationship. Oh my God.
Amazing.
Then I saw this. And I was like, never mind. I think Superman is great. I think that
Oh, I love that.
I love that it's a movie about kindness, and I love that it's a movie about
Mhm.
masculinity and kindness.
That's
Um,
so true.
and I found myself really reflecting on it in the last few days and being like, one thing that having a couple realizations about why I liked it so much. And one is that I felt like its target audience was teenage boys
Hmm.
in a lot of ways. And it was setting up this beautiful example of a superhero male role model who like saves squirrels and doesn't cuss and thinks kindness is the most important thing, and has to grapple with realizing that uh his origins, that he was not designed to be kind, that he was actually designed
Yeah.
to be imperialistic, and to grapple with that,
Mhm.
and decide and realize that his decisions and his choices outweigh any predisposition or anything like that. I think that's a really great example to set, and I found myself very moved by that. Now, it is something that a lot of people, a lot of comic book fans, have a huge problem with, the reveal that his parents are not. I think it's a little more complicated than like they're bad. I think they just come from a different culture and have a different
Is
viewpoint on things. I don't know, but like
is that
the
because in
reveal,
the comics it's not that
I
way?
don't think so. And correct me if I'm
Okay.
wrong, comic book fans. I didn't read too many comics as a kid, but when I did, it was X-Men. So I'm not that well versed in the Superman comics. I did, however, watch the animated series and I loved it. Um, but uh, the other thing that I realized I really liked about it is that I saw somebody comment, this is the Superman that the Iron Giant looked up to. And I was like, oh my
Oh.
God. And then I went back and watched clips from the Iron Giant, and I was like, I saw
Oh, I
so
can't
many.
watch that.
I was watching clips today after I did my makeup, and I was
Why
like,
would you
this was
do
a huge
that?
mistake. Oh my God. I love the Iron Giant. But like, the Iron Giant is all about a weapon grappling with the fact that he doesn't want to be a weapon. And that is very much what this movie's about too. And I just think that's a beautiful thing to show young men right now, as like an antidote to this red pill culture that is sort of capitalizing on young men's anger and loneliness and frustration and um, lack of identity. I think this is a beautiful role model. Now, I had one huge problem with it,
Okay, I'm so
which
curious. Go
was
ahead.
the handling of Eve Tessmacher, Lex
Oh,
Luthor's girlfriend. She was not in the comics. She was actually a character created for the 1970s movies.
oh,
Um,
interesting.
and she's a great character. And I felt like, even though the actress did a lot with what she was given, and I thought she was great, I have a huge respect for her portrayal, and I liked a lot about it. I like the fact that we were led to underestimate her just like everybody else, and then it turns out
Yeah,
she knew exactly what she was doing the entire time.
right.
However, I don't like her abusive boyfriend being played for laughs. And I love the running joke of Jimmy Olsen
Mm,
being this like stud, because that's canonically accurate. Jimmy Olsen
okay.
being this like just dripping
That's
in pussy. Yeah,
hilarious.
that everybody's like, oh my God, it's Jimmy Olsen. And that Lois and Clark are like, what is everybody looking at?
That is
Um,
actually hilarious. I love
Very
that
funny.
gag.
And I loved Jimmy
I love that
Olsen's character in this.
actor.
And me too, except he sort of lost me. Not the actor, the character sort of lost me when he overheard Eve get violently pulled out of the closet by her abusive boyfriend and didn't immediately go, we have to go save Eve.
That's fair.
That
That's very fair.
really, I really didn't like that. That really
Hmm.
was a big ding for me. But it's my only complaint. Other than that, I really I loved how comic booky it was. It's so clear that James Gunn loves comic books and loves
Yes.
this medium.
Yes. 100%.
It and like all the like overly sort of all of the like painting in primary colors and like the overly expositional dialogue was straight out of a comic book panel. And yeah, I thought Mr. Terrific is like my new favorite superhero, and I am so
That
obsessed with
was
everything he does.
like
I
the most
loved,
unexpected thing ever.
yeah.
I was like,
I
who
wasn't
the
expecting
hell?
to see the Justice Gang. I wasn't expecting to see Nathan Fillion's bowl cut. I wasn't expecting to see Hawk Girl. I wasn't expecting to see any of that.
The bowl cut What the fuck?
Fierce.
Did you say fierce?
Well, in a sort of camp way.
In a fun way.
In a stupid way.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I absolutely loved it. I walked out of the theater wanting to see it again. I cried several times. I was very moved. I just love how earnest it is. My one problem was the handling of Miss Tessmacher.
Yeah, that's so interesting because totally honestly, I didn't think of it until you just said that. And then when you did, I was like, oh my God, yeah.
Well, I looked it up and I have not seen a lot of people talking about it. So maybe,
no,
maybe I'm just misreading it, but I don't know.
No, I kind of agree. I mean, it made me definitely be like, oh, you're a bad guy.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Also Cat Grant in the newsroom, her wig. That was my other problem. Her blonde wig. You know, the movie one?
Oh,
who, by the way, she's a much more fleshed out and interesting character than this movie allowed her to be. And I actually found myself thinking, I bet there was a subplot that got cut with her.
And I actually think it might be one of those things that because obviously there's going to be more movies.
Yes, I think she's going to be further explored.
That's what I was going to say. I think she's going to end up being a pivotal role in some movie in the future, but not right now. But I mean, Slay Girl, you look amazing.
Slay Girl. Well, except for that fucking wig, man. That Party City wig. It's gotta go.
But don't you feel like that was sort of comic book?
Yes, I do. Yes.
It felt purposeful. I was like, that's insane, but okay.
It was the weirdest wig. Also, I loved, let's talk about it more when we talk about it, because I could just keep bringing up specific instances, but then we'll be having our discussion. I have some fun facts about the making of this movie, and I'd love to tell you all about them. First, we want to say a quick thank you to our wonderful Patreon listeners who we love so much. You guys keep the lights on, as we say every week, and we just want to say thank you so much we're finishing up season 12, and so many of you have been on this journey with us for the whole time, which is awesome.
It's so crazy.
Like, since we started a Patreon, and then to have new friends join us from TikTok or from finding us. Hi. Over on our Patreon, we have weekly discussion episodes every Thursday where we discuss a movie topic. Some favorite past topics have been pitching movies as rides, favorite movie kisses, movies that traumatized us, which I think we should revisit. Maybe we'll talk about The Iron Giant. I love that movie.
I actually haven't seen it in years because it turned me into a puddle.
Yeah, no. Do you want to sob for 4 days straight? Watch The Iron Giant, but it's so good. Do you want to?
I mean, sometimes, to be honest.
But yeah, we do fun discussion episodes. We have fun chat over there, and we have 3 tiers. If you subscribe to the top 2 tiers, you get to watch this on video, so you can see that I got a haircut, everybody. Summer chop.
You look fab.
It's shorter. I let them talk me. I wanted to go up here, and I let them talk me out of it, but summer chop. And our top tier, and the Oscar Bros too, is our top tier of listeners who are just so generous. And we want to say a quick thank you to Josh, Vicky, Brandon, Sally, Paul, Dominic, Casey Ma, Patrick, Jessica, Lenny G, Lynn, Audrey, and John Johns.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much. And we're going to throw to a quick ad break. And then when we get back, we will talk about the making of Superman. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a podcast.
We're back.
So, okay. Do you want to hear about the making of Superman stuff?
Do I ever?
Okay, I wrote the whole timeline out because I find all this stuff, I find the corporate background of major IP so fascinating.
Oh, is this going to be like how they got the rights?
Well, they've had the rights, but this is going to be how this Superman came to be in the aftermath of a major corporate merger. So, Warner Brothers originally began planning the next DC Universe Superman film in the 2010s because they had Man of Steel, they had Batman versus Superman, all that stuff. In 2017, it was reported that Matthew Vaughn was WB's top choice for director, and he pitched a new trilogy that explored the destruction of Krypton, but after Kal-El, Superman's real name, had grown up there.
Kal-El?
Kal-El. He's an alien. And also it's a Jewish name. So don't make fun of it.
Sorry.
Superman, by the way, was written by two Jewish immigrants and children of immigrants as a metaphor for, cultural assimilation and cultural heritage and immigration. So all y'all complaining about woke Superman can calm down, because when did it get woke? 1938. Everybody chill.
Say less.
Yes.
I mean, say more.
So that was Matthew Vaughn's pitch. And I just want to say, if anybody has a problem with how like chaotic and zany James Gunn's aesthetic is, y'all couldn't handle a Matthew Vaughn Superman.
Yes. And I've never seen that, but I've heard so much about it in reference to this that now I'm like, okay, I think I have to watch it just for like background.
Watch which?
The Matthew Vaughn.
No, Matthew Vaughn never made it.
Oh.
Are you talking about Zack Snyder?
No, a different one.
Which Superman are you talking about?
I don't know. I thought there was another fun one from like the 80s. The
70s Superman. That's who I'm talking about. No, that's different. That's produced by Steven Spielberg, scored by John Williams.
Yeah.
That one. You should absolutely watch those. They're brilliant.
I've never seen it.
The first one in particular is brilliant.
Okay.
No. Matthew Vaughn directed Kingsman and Kingsman 2: The Golden Circle and Argylle. And Matthew Vaughn has a style as a director. And it would have been a really specific Superman. I'm a fan of his work personally.
Okay.
Remember at the end of remember Kingsman when everyone's heads explode?
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, amazing. Okay, I love that. Never mind, I want it.
It would have been cool.
Yeah.
Now Justice League came out, and it was not. I didn't like it very much, and it was plagued with production issues. And they ended up abandoning Superman follow-up plans. Now, I did see the Snyder Cut, by the way, and I thought it was much better than the movie that came out. So all the Snyder fans can get off my back. In 2018, they asked James Gunn to write and direct a Superman movie because he had left Disney and was, vibing around. But he was hesitant because he was a well-known character. Superman was Superman, unlike the Guardians of the Galaxy, who James Gunn got to like bring forth from the nerd shadows. And so he decided to make Suicide Squad instead, which is much more like, pulling something fun from the archives.
Right.
They explored the possibility of working with J.J. Abrams. And at one point, Michael B. Jordan pitched himself as Superman. Swoon.
That would be amazing.
Swoon. And in 2021...
Swoon.
In 2021, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's an amazing author, activist, political journalist who concentrates largely on like issues surrounding like white supremacy in politics, was said to be writing a new film that J.J. Abrams was producing with Michael B. Jordan starring, but then it didn't happen. So in April 2022, Discovery Incorporated and Warner Media merged to become Warner Brothers Discovery, led by President and CEO David Zaslav, who we've heard a lot about in the last few years because of all the strikes and stuff.
We've talked about it.
We sure have. David Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery felt that DC lacked a coherent creative and brand strategy. I think quite a few people agreed, and were underusing Superman. So they were looking for like a Kevin Feige for DC. So in August 2022, James Gunn was officially hired to work on a Superman film that was not a sequel of Man of Steel and would be standalone from the DCEU. In October of that year, James Gunn and producer Peter Safran were announced as the co-chairs and co-CEOs of the newly formed DC Studios. So they're now in the sort of Kevin Feige position for DC. A week after starting their new roles, they had begun developing an 8 to 10 year plan for a new DC universe. That would be a soft reboot of the DC Extended Universe. Gunn announced that he was writing a new Superman film that would be separate from the previous iterations, and they met with Henry Cavill to explain their decision and discuss potentially working with him for a different role in the future. But it wasn't going to be him.
I feel bad for Henry Cavill.
I do too.
In this whole situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any way that they could have done what they did without recasting.
I guess you're right.
It was the smartest creative decision.
I agree. Like, it was probably a brutal decision, but I think it was a good decision.
Right. I mean, they would have had to simply be like, he's a different guy now. Like,
yeah, and you're like, wait, hold on, what?
it would
Yeah,
have been
that's
very
fair.
bizarre. Also, they wanted someone younger because they wanted to focus on him a bit younger.
Yeah, yeah.
So when looking for an actor to play Superman, he wanted someone who possessed the character's humanity, kindness, compassion, and was, quote, somebody you want to give a hug. He watched the film Pearl, and David Corenswet's performance in it stood out to him. And Corenswet had previously expressed his desire to play Superman, and his audition was one of the first that James Gunn saw. He is so fantastic. And let me tell you something about David Corenswet. I first saw him in the Ryan Murphy series Hollywood. It was a Netflix show in like 2020. And I had a lot of problems with that show as someone who's like an old Hollywood nerd. But I remember seeing that guy and immediately going, he's going to be a huge star.
Really? Because I have to tell you, I don't know if I'm living under a literal rock, but I don't remember seeing him in anything prior.
You saw him in Twisters.
Who was he in Twisters?
He was like the douchey corporate guy who's always chewing gum. In fact, he was shooting Twisters when he found out that he got the part of Superman.
See, I don't even remember that. How do I not remember that?
He plays a real smarmy asshole in that movie. But in this series Hollywood, he was one of the lead parts. And I just remember being like, I've never seen this guy before, but he's going to be a movie star.
He's so good. Yeah, he's great.
Really great. He's a Juilliard trained actor. And he just seems like a huge nerd and a very nice man.
Yeah, he does.
And I love that. He does
seem sweet. Yeah, everything I've seen from him, I'm like, oh, cute.
Well cast, yes. Yeah. Now, other people who were considered to play Superman, Jacob Elordi, Tom Brittney, Andrew Richardson was also in consideration. Jacob Elordi declined to read for the role, but he was considered. Now, Patrick Schwarzenegger was considered. He sent a self-tape. Now, Pearson Fode, who played Superman in the series Supergirl, also sent in a self-tape, as did Jack Quaid, who is the voice of Superman in the animated series My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah, cute.
Yep, but ultimately David Corenswet was the first tape that he saw, and he was like, yep, that's the guy. Nicholas Hoult was the...
I love him. He love him.
The first person considered for Lex Luthor, but he said he wanted to go for Superman instead. He auditioned for Superman.
That's hilarious. Yes. I mean, he would be great in anything, but I think he is such a Lex Luthor.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but he was the runner-up to play Bruce Wayne in The Batman, the one that went to Robert Pattinson.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
Yeah, but ultimately, even though other people were considered, Alexander and Bill Skarsgård were both on the short list for Lex Luthor. Yeah, but James Gunn contacted Nicholas Hoult about playing him, and he took the role. He realized he was well suited for it, and he was actually the highest paid actor in Superman. He was paid $2 million, whereas David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan were both paid $750,000.
What?
Get your coin, Nicole.
Slay.
Now, speaking of Rachel Brosnahan,
popular.
He is so popular.
I love her.
I love her too. She's so fantastic. Emma Mackey was also contender for
I could see
Lois
that.
Lane. She's great. Samara Weaving also, and Phoebe Dynevor, who you might know from Bridgerton or Younger. She's Daphne Bridgerton.
Oh my gosh, she's fabulous too.
She's great, and actually she was one of the final contenders. And they had the actors test in makeup and costume as Clark Kent and Lois Lane in the following pairs: Nicholas Hoult and Rachel Brosnahan, Tom Brittney and Phoebe Dynevor, and David Corenswet and Emma Mackey. And then all of the Supermans tested with Emma Mackey in one of Henry Cavill's old Superman costumes. And it was in poor condition.
Trauma.
And David Corenswet put it on, and he was too tall for it. So he wrecked it. He wrecked the damaged the costume.
That's a flex.
And the film was reported to have a net production budget of $255 million with incentives and tax breaks factored in. They filmed in Norway, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Atlanta. And when
Norway's
asked about
sick.
Yeah, that was all the ice cave stuff.
Yep.
When asked about his approach to this, James Gunn had this to say. How can you take a character like this who's perceived as old-fashioned by many? There have been so many different permutations of the character throughout the years, so how could you do it for a modern audience? I knew what I wanted to do in creating a story that was both utterly human and utterly fantastic. It has all the fantastic elements that we've never really seen in a Superman movie, the flying dog, the giant kaiju, pocket universes, science and sorcery, and all these things that were in the old Max Fleischer cartoons. So that's really what he wanted to do.
That's cool. It shows.
Yeah. Now, would you like to check the score?
Yes, because I am really curious to hear your take on this score, actually. Like, I need to know, because I know things now because we talk about scores, Alex.
And what did you think of it?
I liked it, and I thought it was interesting that it used a lot of the John Williams score, but it didn't sound quite like it. Like, it did, but it didn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
A lot of it was, yes. And that has very much divided critics. Very much divided.
Like,
people either
people
really liked
hate
it or they absolutely hate what was done with John Williams' score.
What do you think?
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. And I've been listening to the soundtrack and enjoying it very much. Now, there's some things to say about it, though, that critics made some points. So we're going to talk about it. So the score was written by John Murphy, who you may know from his work on Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Kick-Ass, 28 Days Later, Sunshine, The Suicide Squad, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm obsessed with all of that.
An icon, a legend.
Yeah.
And he shares credit with David Fleming, who's a composer who you might know from The Last of Us. He also did Blue Planet 2, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is a great score, The Alto Nights.
Oh my gosh.
And David Fleming is one of Hans Zimmer's guys. You know how Hans Zimmer has guys?
Yes, how he has like a little coven.
Yeah, he's part of Hans Zimmer's coven.
Goodbye.
So I have some quotes from David Fleming and John Murphy. David Fleming said, "This Superman is very much a James Gunn film. It is singular in that way, but I think there's something about the spirit of that original movie that obviously touched James and that he has embraced, which includes the DNA of John Williams' incredible theme. There's something that Williams really captured about Superman's inherent goodness and optimism that is inextricable from the character. So I knew figuring out how to use that iconic theme in a way that fits our film was key to helping James harness the spirit he was after. I remember one particular meeting with James where I started playing around on the piano, exploring the back half of the Williams theme, which up to that point we hadn't really utilized. As I was playing different variations, it felt like we were discovering something classic and new at the same time. I could tell it affected James, and it quickly became the musical key to Clark's through line in this film as he confronts his own purpose on Earth. What I loved about this movie is the same thing I love about the original theme, how it taps into the heart and humanity of the character, not just as Superman, but as Clark Kent." And I have a little example of that.
That's lovely.
I believe I gave it a listen, and I believe what he's referring to is in the Superman in John Williams' Superman score. There's a part that goes ba 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 ba, and I believe that's what he's referring to in what was incorporated as Clark's theme. So here is a track called "Your Choices, Your Actions."
Wait, when did
a lot of guitar
play?
used. I believe it's when he's talking to Pa Kent, who has also divided a lot of people, but I loved the Kents personally.
Oh my gosh, I could cry. Is that not the sweetest man?
I loved the Kents, but people did not like this portrayal.
They were lovely.
I know. I don't really get it.
I thought they were sweet.
Okay. Listen close. That's it. Ba, 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 ba. From Williams' original score.
Ooh, that gave me chills, actually. That's weird. That doesn't happen that often. For me. I love it. I'm going to say something crazy.
Say it.
It reminds me of musical theater. Like, it's giving Jason Robert Brown.
Oh my God, Jason Robert Brown write film scores when?
Jason.
So I believe. I know what you mean. Definitely. chord. Yeah, and there's something about the chord progression too that's very contemporary. But I believe that's what he's referring to when taking a piece of the melody of Superman's score and morphing it into Clark's theme.
Right.
And I thought I gave me chills. Some people really don't like it. I liked it.
That's so interesting. I'm surprised to hear that people didn't like it.
Well,
I
there's a specific thing people didn't like about it, and we'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
So I have a couple more tracks to show you. So another quote from John Murphy, quote, "Because we just wanted to show our love for it. It's an amazing, iconic score, and we were both on board from the get-go. But the challenge then, obviously, is when you have something that precious. Let's not overuse this. Let's find the perfect moments. Let's be respectful." That was the difficult thing, because the amount of times I thought, are we overdoing this now? Or should I really be playing that on electric guitar? Am I going to composer hell for this? There was a lot of second guessing and wondering if we were being respectful enough. Now, I liked the electric guitar, actually.
Which is funny.
There was a lot of it.
Because sometimes, didn't you say sometimes you don't like guitar?
Sometimes I don't like guitars in scores, but
but you were saying acoustic.
Yeah.
Or no?
Kind of both. But
yeah.
I think I'm evolving on that position the more I listen.
Yeah. Okay.
But I actually liked the electric guitar because it goes along with the theme of kindness being punk rock. I think it makes sense within the world of the script.
See. Yeah, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I think I
get what they're doing, and I think it's cool and specific. Now, when the movie hadn't even started yet, and it was like do 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 do, I went like this in my seat. I went. I got emotional immediately because I was like,
"How many times did you cry during this movie?"
Like three times.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I would have guessed.
Like 3 times. Yep. Yep. And I have one more quote from David Fleming. Quote, "This is definitely a primarily orchestral score, but there's plenty of colors that get tweaked within that framework. Obviously, there's the Superman theme itself. In addition to the orchestra, I'm playing a lot with guitar, both electric and acoustic. There's something that I don't want to spoil in the movie, but let me say that there's a somewhat musical aspect to Superman's character that James points to. And because of that, I wanted the score to always maintain a strong guitar element." That, I believe, he's referring to the fact that Superman likes to listen to music that he thinks are edgy, but they're not.
Oh, cute. Okay, that's funny. I like that it's like a character thing.
Yeah. James Gunn, by the way, he did this like the way that us fanfic girlies write fan fiction, which is he made a playlist for all the characters before he even started like the project.
I love that.
Me too.
I love that.
Yep. He said, "We had some world-class guitarists at our disposal. Yvette Young and Andrew Sinowiak added an incredible attitude to balance out the orchestra. The orchestra provided plenty of attitude itself when it came to several scenes bordering on sci-fi. For Lex's secret area and the interdimensional rift that it creates, I asked our strings to split in 2 sections and mirror each other, bending notes as if they were splitting down the middle. The orchestra was in effect doubling synthesizers, and it created something very off-kilter for the sound of our world being literally ripped apart. We have some of the greatest players in the world in Los Angeles who are just bringing so much life to this symphonic sound, which remains the centerpiece of Superman's musical identity." And that, I believe, is referring to this. This is the track Pocket Universe. What? Read a comic book.
It is very scary.
You know who would do that? That is a very me thing to do.
I know.
Now let's talk reviews. Reviews were largely positive, but Xanabard Reviews gave the score a mixed review, stating that while the new material for the bustling Daily Planet, Villainous Luther, Gentle Love, and Heroic Justice Gang is interesting, the score was overall sadly focused on cheap, trailerized, repeating excerpts of John Williams' iconic theme playing over seemingly synthesized, generic-sounding action music. Now, that is going to come up here. Every reviewer that gave a bad review said that it sounded like trailer music. And I think that speaks very interestingly to what has become a cliche because of, I think, lazy trailer making, where it's like, take a song everybody knows and make it the epic version. It's become a cliche at this point. So to interpolate the Superman score, it's kind of a no-win situation a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah. Filmtracks.com, which I've mentioned many times on this podcast, gave the score a 1-star review, unfavorably comparing it to Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score. Quote, Zimmer's score was simply terrible on its own merit. This time you hear Williams's music crucified, and that emotional gut punch is arguably worse. What you hear is like Williams's music run through a Zimmer artificial intelligence filter to make it bigger, heavier, and more badass in every cue of any significant volume. The new themes are ineffective and dumb in their expression, and they dubbed it the ultimate dumbing down of this sullied franchise.
That is brutal.
I think that's harsh, personally.
That's really mean.
Yeah. There's another critic, Jonathan Broxton of Movie Music UK, who critiqued the use of Williams' score, stating, quote, these versions of the theme sound like those YouTube videos where a young kid with a set of samples has created an epic reimagining of a theme full of simple harmonies, chugging ostinatos, and massive synth choirs, reducing the whole thing to sound like modern trailer music, devoid of any nuance or subtlety or sophistication. Though he did have some appreciation for Fleming's Justice Gang theme, which he dubbed, quote, modern, appropriately heroic, injecting a sense of crowd-pleasing bravery into his punk rock orchestra. I'm going to play that for you in a second because it rocks.
Okay.
And James Southall of Movie Wave said, if you leave aside the mistreatment of the Williams material, you're left with something that sounds pretty generic and could be from any 2025 action movie. It doesn't really sound like there's any great ambition there to create something lasting. I don't agree with that, personally.
That's really, really brutal. It feels unnecessarily rude.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because, like one of them said, it's precious material.
Totally, I get that. Yeah,
and it was perfectly done the first time. It was perfect. The Superman soundtrack by John Williams is a perfect movie score album. It's perfect.
But like, I feel like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, if you don't use it, people are gonna hate you. If you do, they're gonna hate what you did with it. So like, what are you supposed to do?
It was a little bit of a no-win situation, I think.
Yeah.
Now I do want to play a clip from the Justice Gang track, which everybody pretty much praised, and it reminded me so much of like the X-Men animated series theme song, which rocks. This is the track Justice Gang.
Okay.
So yeah, that slaps. But I thought the score was good. Sorry, everybody.
So slaps.
I thought it was good.
I think, okay, this is my take as like, you know way more about this stuff than me, so I would trust Alex's opinion more than mine. But
no, you know what you're talking about too.
Well, not really. Not really. But anyway, I think it's one of those scores that I didn't walk away from the movie remembering or like playing out in my head, but I don't necessarily think that's a horrible thing because it felt like a great backdrop to the movie. It just wasn't like that outstanding. Like it wasn't something that I left thinking about.
It was declining the spotlight to it was passing the spotlight to John Williams's score. That's why.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. It's funny. It's like very different than I've actually really been listening to the Jurassic World score.
Rebirth. It's good.
Rebirth because it's really good.
Yeah, I was listening to it at the gym the other day.
Were you?
Yeah.
Same.
I was on the elliptical like, I'm running away from a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's the best way to do that. But while I was watching that movie, I was like hearing the music and being like, oh yeah, that's good. This, I wasn't necessarily thinking that, but it also didn't stand out as being incorrect or bad.
No, I don't think so. And when I listened to the album, I didn't think it was like, generic or surface level or unsophisticated. I thought it sounded like great musicians doing a good job
Mhm.
doing what they wanted to do, which was to make, like they wanted to make an epic, which I think has maybe become associated with trailer
Mm.
music, which again is
Yeah,
like, I have an
totally.
issue with the way that trailers, I have a trailer
Use
issue.
that.
I have a trailer issue in general. I think
Alex.
Inception really fucked up a lot of trailers. We talked about it on the history of the movie trailer episode.
We
I
did,
love
and
Inception, and it's a great trailer, but not every movie trailer should be an Inception trailer. Just
no,
like
but they
I love
all have to go
Deadpool.
boom.
I love Deadpool. Not every movie should be Deadpool.
Yeah, so true. So true.
It's that. But yeah. So that's the score. It's fun to listen to, and what I left humming was John Williams's theme.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been what they were trying to do.
Yeah, totally. That's so interesting. Okay, I didn't realize there was back and forth.
Now, shall we get into the discussion of Superman? Okay, we've already covered quite a few topics. Let's talk about James Gunn's fight scene style.
I will give him this. The man knows how to do superhero fight scenes. He just does.
Like nobody else. I mean,
I think the opening to this movie was wildly good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved, number one, it subverted my expectations, which I love.
Okay, how so?
I love that I just wasn't expecting it to start with him losing a fight and to start at a really low point. Like, I thought that was really cool. I like that they didn't spend a ton of time on exposition either. Like, it felt like they were just like, okay, you know the deal, like, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they covered it all in those opening titles, which I've been a fan of since Star Wars. I don't mind getting getting a little
Same.
cursory information at the beginning. Did you like it, or did you?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I did. I appreciated it because it's like, okay,
it's like in F1 when when they're like, so this is a safety car, and for anyone at home
who's never heard of that, yeah, it is like, it's like basically if you live under a rock and you don't know who Superman is, here's what you need to know, which is like pretty basic info, and then like, let's do the thing, which I really like. I think the fight sequence that stood out to me was the Mr. Terrific one, where it's
fun.
And that song unlocked something in my brain that I forgot was there. I used to love that song. I used to play.
I've never heard that song before.
Alex, that is the most millennial ass shit. And
oh my God.
I loved it. I forget who it's by, but I used to play it like on the ukulele because I freaking loved it so much.
That's
in like
cute.
2008 or whenever it came out, 2010. I don't know. Wait, what is it? Fun song.
Fun. Well, it's trending right now because of the movie.
Noah and the Whale. See, my brain is exploding. Oh my God, that's so freaking wild. Anyway, I loved that song in like, it must have been middle
psyched
school.
When it came on in the theater? Were you like,
it was such a niche millennial thing that I was like, how dare you? How dare you? Like, it just felt like it shouldn't. Yeah, I was like, I'm old.
But what a great juxtaposition of, and James Gunn loves to do that. He historically has loved to sort of juxtapose sort of cheerful mundanity with
like
jaw-dropping violence. Not Tarantino violence, but like
2008
violence.
Oh my God.
Oh, you did it. But like it's echoed later in the scene where like Lois and Superman are having their discussion in the apartment about how he's going to turn himself in to find the dog, which we have to talk about. But in the background, the Justice Gang are fighting like a giant space jellyfish. Yeah, like he's so good at juxtaposing those things. And in that Mr. Terrific fight scene, I mean, I don't even know how you begin to conceive the cinematography of that. I don't even know how.
So smart.
You conceive it. Like, I think he's so brilliant at that. It's like a paintbrush I couldn't even dream of owning.
Yeah, totally.
But I love that we got to watch it from Lois's perspective. I love that we got her reaction to it through the whole thing. I thought that was awesome. Really cool.
Yeah, it's clever. Like, he's just really good at making it fun and exciting. It's really unrealistic. It's really silly, but it's well done and it is so fun. The camera, I mean, the work to even prep that scene, I can't imagine. So that was great. That was
I
probably my
can't even
favorite
imagine it either.
sequence.
Yeah, I think it was the standout sequence. And I don't know if you noticed, but afterwards, most of them I watched carefully because I watch for this kind of thing. Most of them like moved a little to show that they weren't dead, that
Yeah,
they were
just,
knocked
like,
out.
stunned.
Because this is a superhero, this is a Superman movie, and every death has a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And that
right.
brings me to the next thing I think we should talk about, which is the character of Malik.
Yes.
The civilian who helps Superman at some point and meets a horrific end. And
That was shocking.
It was shocking, and I'm really glad that it was, because I mean, like I'm right back there now watching it. Like I was sitting there and I could feel us all thinking the same thing, which is like, oh, they're not going to kill him.
They're not really. I know.
And they did, and so fast on the second pull.
I gasped out
the
loud.
whole theater. It was shocking, and it should feel shocking. It shouldn't feel. It should feel that big of a deal. The loss of a life, and in a lot of movies where there's a lot of like fighting good and evil, deaths, particularly of side characters, can feel desensitized or ancillary, and the death of Malik felt. It's shocking is the only word I can think of for it. Because in a movie where you know the fights don't leave a trail of dead bodies and there isn't a lot of graphic violence, to have a human man just shoot another man in the head.
Totally.
I thought that was so effective.
I agree. I think it was effective in a lot of ways. It was a huge shock, but not in a gross way, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't using shock value for no reason. It was like,
no, not at all.
Yeah, it was very clearly like, this is a good man who didn't deserve this, and it shows you exactly who everyone is in that moment, like what this type of person is capable of, and the lack of feeling from Lex Luthor, and like, yeah, that was unbelievable, like so unexpected, and
it was horrifying.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
And
it is also the catalyst for Anthony Carrigan's character, who I didn't know that was Anthony Carrigan until I saw the credits, and I was like, oh, I love Anthony Carrigan. Oh, have you watched Barry?
Yes, I love Barry. Are you kidding?
Barry is an amazing show, and it's saying something that he is the best part of it, because it's a show full of amazing parts.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I thought that this character, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, what the hell is this? And then
he plays Metamorpho, by the way, the man who can make sort of different substances on his skin.
Yeah. By the end, I was like, okay, you go, little goo man.
Little goo man and his little baby.
His little green baby.
Joey.
He's okay.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, I think it was that whole like prison breakout sequence situation was also really fun. I will say, like, the like interdimensional whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't really, that doesn't do it for me. But the prison itself, like the way that everybody is just like put in there,
that
I thought was cool,
including his ex-girlfriend, who like, and again, like, I don't know how much respect she was treated with as a character. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it all skated the line for me a little bit with the women, but with the women's side characters, not with Lois Lane. I thought Lois Lane was handled really, really well. I loved that she was, her defining characteristic is that she is a great journalist, and we learned that right off the bat. Too. I love that, and I love that she is like a little emotionally unavailable, and like what she's good at is journalism, and that ends up being a huge part of what saves the day.
Yeah.
What did you think of their first scene, which, by the way, was their screen test scene, and it was the first scene that they shot, their interview scene right at the beginning. We meet them mid relationship, which is very rare. Most Superman stories involve her not knowing that Clark is Superman and being starstruck by Superman, and the beginning of that relationship. Here we're in is it in medias rex? Is that what it's called? We're in the middle of things.
Yeah.
She knows Clark is Superman. They've been dating for 3 months.
Yeah.
What did you think of the interview scene?
I really, really loved it. You know what's funny? I had the thought, like, number one, I like, again, that it subverted my expectation with that. Like, there was one offhanded line where she says something about him being Superman. I was like, oh, she knows. That's weird. And I I kept thinking, like, if I were in an acting class, that's one of those scenes that would be like so fun to work on.
I think that when I watch all movies these days, I'm like, could I do this in class?
Yeah. It's like such a fun back and forth. It's both of them being very smart, loving each other, but having tension. It shows you where they're at personally. It gives you a little bit of exposition background. Like, what's he willing to talk about? What's he not? What's a sensitive topic for him? Like, how great she is at her job. It just gives you really clear, good background all in one fun to watch scene because their chemistry is so good.
Their chemistry is crazy. And luckily we saw them make out in the most passionate way I think I've ever seen on screen, like 5 minutes before this fight. So I wasn't worried about their love because I was like, no, these two are soulmates. I just saw the way that they kissed on that counter.
Exactly. You're like, oh, I'm not even really worried because, like, hot.
They're going to be fine. But that it's an important conversation for them to have. And I love that it's at the beginning of the movie because it tells us exactly who Clark is and what he's informed by. And I saw there was a clip on the Our Crazy Stupid podcast, which is a great podcast if you want to go give it a listen. They talked about how Superman is a firefighter, not a cop.
Totally.
And how important that is. And you learn that right at the beginning.
That's very astute.
It's very astute. And I was like, oh my God, yes. Superman doesn't care about getting permission. He doesn't care about authority. He doesn't care about rules. He cares about right and wrong. That's it. He cares about helping people. And that all comes out in that scene where he says people could die. People would die if I didn't intervene. And we also learn a lot about what informs Lois, which is ethical journalism. Like she is asking the right questions, which is, did you check with anybody before you interfered in geopolitical affairs? Did you cross any of the red tape that you're supposed to go through?
Yeah.
And he gets very angry because he's like, it makes sense to me. There's right and there's wrong. There's killing and there's saving. And that is all that matters. And it's really good that we hear that right up front so that we're not wondering, who Superman is. And in previous iterations of Superman, we've seen him turn himself into the authorities as an illegal immigrant. This comes up every time Superman is told. I don't know why anybody would have a problem with it now because it literally has always happened. But Superman turns himself into the authorities, not because it's the right thing to do or because it's the just way or because, he trusts in the justice system. He does it because it's the fastest way to find the dog. And I think that is really key, like character in there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I love that was such a motivating forward driving piece is like, just where's the dog?
Where's the dog?
And
I love that he says he's not even a very good dog, but he's out there and he's alone and he's probably scared, which means I have to go help him.
Right. Adorable. So sweet.
And just that's a character I really want to root for. And that's a character I really want young people to look up to.
I agree. I think that his version of this, for all the reasons that you said, is great. It's really beautiful because I think
he doesn't cuss. He says golly and gosh.
Hysterical, which also it just feels right. Like he grew up in
he's a nice farm boy.
Yeah, he's a nice farm boy. Like his parents probably would have been like, don't cuss. Like it just makes sense. It all feels like it makes sense in
Ma and Pa Kent wouldn't let him cuss in their house.
Yeah, no. So that's super fun. What was I gonna say? What do you think of, because I don't know the comics, maybe you do better than me.
We'll see.
But I didn't realize that Supergirl is his cousin?
Kal-El's cousin. And it does kind of step on some of the facts in the stories. Like why didn't she tell tell Clark
about his parents.
and stuff, but I don't care.
But who cares?
I don't care. Who cares?
Yeah,
This
it's
comic
fine.
book worlds are so fucking huge, and things get
Exactly.
retconned over and over and over again.
Yeah, I don't care.
Kara is Clark's cousin. And I love that it's her dog, and that I love that we also get
she's an alcoholic.
Yeah, first of all, Alki, which is comic book accurate sometimes.
Really?
There was at least one series where she was a party girl, not an alcoholic, but a party girl.
Okay.
The thing about her having
funny.
to go to a certain planet, like planets with red suns, in order to get drunk, is from the comics.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I also love that they established very quickly that she's 10 times stronger than Clark, which is comic book accurate, because when Krypto does his doggy thing with her and just like does what dogs do, which is they just fucking jump on you and you're like, please stop, and they're like, I love you. Yep. She loves it and is like giggling like it tickles, whereas Clark is like, ow, Jesus,
kill me. Yeah. Which is hysterical. I love that the dog just doesn't know its own strength, just like jumps on
it's
you.
It's a dog.
So cute.
It's the doggiest dog.
It's so
and that
good.
It keeps attacking Mr. Terrific's cameras.
I love it.
I love that.
He's such a cutie. Yeah. What did you think of the like geopolitical storyline aspect?
Yeah. It didn't bother me. I didn't find it muddy. I found it on the nose, but I actually kind of appreciated that it was on the nose, because of how you got to take into context, like, it's the kid putting up the flag scene that is very clearly modeled after Gaza. It's very, very clear. And we're coming off of the DCU in which Gal Gadot played Wonder Woman, who is an outspoken Zionist. And I also just want to say, like, because we're talking about this and it's a very complicated topic.
Yes.
I personally, my opinion is I believe that what's happening to Palestine is not okay. I believe the actions of the Israeli government and military are not okay. Mm-hmm. That's my personal opinion. However, I don't think it's an excuse for anti-Semitism. I think that criticizing the actions of the Israeli government is not anti-Semitism, which I do see that get confused sometimes.
Yeah, no,
but
no.
I do see some people online beginning to spout anti-Semitic, specifically anti-Jewish, because Semitic can actually cover a variety of people from that region.
Right.
Anti-Jewish and conspiracy-rooted rhetoric, and it's important to take the nuances of that into account, because I don't support that at all.
Of course.
I do think that Benjamin Netanyahu is insane and terrifying and has been for a very long time.
Definitely.
And I am in support of art
discussing this.
Yeah, I'm in support of art discussing it, and I'm in support of art showing sort of like casting a light on painting it in broad strokes, sure, but in the fictionalized version showing what would be right and what would be wrong. So I liked it. I thought it was cool that Lex Luthor was like plotting with the president of Moravia to overtake this country and then get half of it. I thought that was so funny. He wants to be king. Hi, Donald Trump. Also, the harem list. That's not from the comics, by the way. But like, that's the Epstein list. That's the Epstein list.
Which this literally just happened. Anyway.
Topical. But like, the fact that everybody was like, oh, no, he's got, what about all these harems? And I pictured like Lex Luthor's stance being like, release the harem list, and then being like, wait, Lex Luthor might be on it. Never mind, there is no harem list.
Yep.
I actually thought it was pretty punk rock to take such big fucking swings, and to show Hawk Girl dropping him and then cutting to the Alka-Seltzer dropping in the glass.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Genius.
So yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't bothered by the sort of chaotic juxtaposition of that with the pocket universes and stuff. That didn't bother me personally.
Yeah. No, I'm like very much same page. And I do think it's important that it doesn't feel like an untouchable topic for art. Like, I do think it being able to be utilized as it's something to say like, hey, let's discuss this. Let's look at this. This is important to all of us right now is great. I do think it was like a little clunky the way it was plugged in with the other like
Mhm.
more, university weird
Yeah,
parts,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it is a comic book movie and that's the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, that didn't like
Yeah.
quite work for me, but I get it. And I like that
Yeah.
it's being discussed.
Well, and it is, like you said at the beginning, that is what comic books have historically always done. They have always
Yeah.
covered real world stuff. They Cold War, Superman fought the Ku Klux Klan. This is a great story. Do you know this? Oh, I wish
No?
I'd done more research on it to tell it in a
Wait, that's cool.
more nuanced way. But like, yeah, in the 30s and 40s, there was a radio show. There was a Superman radio show, and his like nemesis was the Klan. And
Incredible.
the writers
Incredible
and
way
the
to
producers
look it
of
up.
the radio show had a man on the inside. They had a double agent in the Klan who would report back their code words. And then on the radio show, it would be like, today we defeated the Klan using their code words, this, and this. And the Klan was like, what the fuck? Why does he know our code words?
That's
And it
amazing.
actually helped
What?
dismantle the Klan.
Wait, that's kind of dope.
So comic books,
Kind of dope.
if anybody out there says to you, comic books shouldn't be political, movies shouldn't be political, that's an insane thing to say, because comic books have been political since they were invented.
Totally.
Most superheroes were invented to comment on a political issue.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane to say otherwise.
100%. Yeah, I mean that's even me, and I've never really read comics, and I admittedly don't know a whole lot about the background, but I that is like the not the point of them, but it's a huge part of them. It's like a part of the
It's
culture
the
of
DNA
comic books.
of comic books. Yeah.
So to be like, you shouldn't be talking about that is crazy.
It's ridiculous. It's what they've always done. And
Yeah.
and it's good because it helps those issues be accessible and understandable to like younger people.
Exactly. And be able
And
to
it's-
discuss it.
Yeah, and I don't mind I don't mind the broad strokes in that sense, because it is more about discussing the feelings about the issues rather than the specifics about the issues. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. What do you think of him stopping a fight to save a squirrel?
Hysterical. I like
Love
that. That's the kind of goofy that I enjoy, and I feel like the James Gunn, like the parts of James Gunn's movies that really work for me are those types of, it shows who he is as a character, and it's
Yeah.
hysterical. Like it's so dumb.
It's so fun. And I also like structurally how most of the movie we spend watching Superman, like you said, be at like rock bottom, losing, having to delegate, having to ask for help. I love that he never struggles with having to ask for help, ever. We never see Superman or Clark be like, I have to do this alone.
Exactly.
We don't ever see that. And I love that, because I think more young men should be shown that it is totally normal and sensible to ask for help. So we never see him be like, no, this is my burden. Nope, help. Love that. But I also love that meant that at the end, we got this beautiful payoff of Superman being Superman, of Superman fighting himself. You could see it as his inner demons, as his alternate universe worst choices.
Right.
You can see it as many things, or like the way people see him. There's many ways you could think of Ultraman,
and
which is a Superman clone.
Oh, is that comic book? That felt like it.
I believe
must be
so. Yeah.
Pulled directly. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that was the reveal, but I also saw it coming.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought I kind of knew it from the beginning, but I think that's because I kind of knew somewhere in the back of my mind that Ultraman was a Superman clone.
Oh, you already okay? Like somewhere you had.
I
heard
think
that
somewhere
before or
I knew that,
something.
because I was
Okay.
like, well, also it explains immediately why he was able to be beaten by him for the first
Totally.
time. Why it was the first thing to be able to beat him was because it was him.
Yeah, for sure. And I do like. I think it's a great metaphor, but it's definitely something we've seen before. But again, like I try to keep reminding myself that is also part of like the comic book DNA. Is these are things that happen over and over again. These are things that you explore over and over. It's like fighting yourself.
Well, and for like a lot of 12-year-olds, this is the first Superman movie they're watching. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's the other thing I try to remind myself with these kinds of movies is I thought that pretty bad movies when I was young were amazing when I first saw them because it was the first thing that I saw in that, genre.
Yep.
So for young people, this will be a great introduction to this character and that idea. Yeah.
And I just hope it left me feeling hopeful.
Yeah.
And I
definitely.
can feel so doom and gloom about like gender politics and the state of sort of like young men in this country and
yeah,
the patriarchy. And so to just see positive examples of gentle, tender masculinity whose focus is on helping and protecting, but not protecting like I'm a protector and provider. Protecting because because he wants to be human.
It's right.
Yeah, and he wants to take care of his fellow human being. Which brings me to the end. Let's talk about him and Lex facing off in his little flying office. And we get a speech. We get a very heavy-handed but lovely speech about how Superman's greatest strength is his humanity.
Yeah, that I was like, kill me, but like that's a me problem.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I was like, back up the truck.
I think it was lovely, but I hated it. But I like that's for that. I know I'm wrong. Just know that I know.
No, I don't think it's wrong or right. But
No,
I don't think it was for. No, I don't mean this the way it's going to sound, but I don't think it was for you. I don't think.
No, exactly.
I think it was for any 14-year-old boys in the audience who might need to hear that.
100%. Like, yeah, I think you're spot on. But I think it was a great ending sequence. Like, I loved him just bursting in like that. I love the way that he was taken down. I think
Krypto just absolutely beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, like that's exactly what he got exactly what he deserved. So
I will say,
I love that.
Lex Luthor with Nick Holt playing him had the most punchable fucking face.
Yeah, wild.
I love Nicholas Holt. He's
insane.
A very handsome man, but the way that he managed to make this guy the most insufferable fucking loser.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah. What did you think of his? I mean, obviously we loved it, but what did you think of his performance as Lex? His Lex Luthor.
His Lex Luthor, I thought was really, really good for the times, if that makes sense. Like it felt very much like a 2025 Lex Luthor, like he was playing somebody that I've seen and heard on TV and Twitter. Like I just was like, yes, I've seen that. And I love him. I love, he's one of my favorite actors, genuinely. Every time I see him, I just think
he's one of the best.
Yeah, he gives his all into every single performance. He's had such a crazy few years, like such a great few years. So I loved it. I thought he was great.
Nicholas Holt said, because I've been watching a lot of interviews, Nicholas Holt said that to prepare, he really tried to focus on like making Lex the most like alpha. Like hilarious. He is into the manosphere. He is into alpha male high value male podcasts. And he said he listened to Elon Musk's book on tape.
Oh, Jesus.
He specifically said he did not base the character on Elon Musk, but he wanted to understand that kind of mindset. And it's very Elon Musk. And one thing that I can't remember if he said it or if James Gunn said it, but there was an interview where Lex was being spoken about, and it was talked about the fact that what pisses Lex Luthor off about Superman, what makes Lex Luthor so psychopathically angry about Superman, is that Lex Luthor is just a human being, but he wants to be a god. Superman has the powers of a god, but all he wants to be is a human being. And Lex finds that so disgusting and infuriating and insecurity triggering that it makes him insane, essentially. And also there was talk about like, I saw people be like, what, Lex Luthor is a genius and he can't tell that Clark Kent is Superman? That's actually addressed. I can't remember if it's in the film or
it's in the movie.
How he just like doesn't believe anybody.
Well, but it's also I think they explain away the like he puts on his glasses and no one knows thing really well, because they say like the glasses make you see somebody else. And
Lois is like, wow, he really just trusts everybody. He tells everybody everything. Yeah. Love that.
But, so I was like, oh, okay, that works.
There's backstory to it though also, which is that in the comments, Lex has been told that Clark Kent is Superman and he doesn't believe it because he doesn't understand why Superman would even have an alter ego.
And he doesn't one that's
weak. He's like, nah, that's bullshit.
That's funny.
Superman would never do that. Superman has too big of an ego because he's projecting. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Loved it.
And that's Superman, guys.
That's Superman.
Do you see what I meant?
I'm just kidding.
Nope, that's Indiana Jones.
Let me try again.
Give it a shot. Do you remember it?
I don't know.
Da, 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 da,
Oh yeah, Slay.
da, 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 do, do, do,
That was
do,
good.
do, 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 ba, 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 ba. You have to see the 70s one. It's a really good movie.
I know. It's on my list.
Guys, what did you think of Superman? Also, Steph, do you see why I was like, I think we have to talk about it?
Totally. When I was watching it, number one, my theater was completely sold out.
Me too. Mine too. Totally sold out.
On a Wednesday. I was like, what the? So I think this is really intriguing. A lot of people are seeing it. I totally get it. I'm excited that we got to chat about it.
Me too. And guys, let us know what you thought of Superman. You can let us know on our Patreon in the comments section, or if you want to leave us a 5-star review, you're more than welcome to, and you can tell us everything you think about every movie in that review, and also request some movies for the next season.
Do it.
Guys, we're about to go on a break, and we will miss you all so much, but we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about more movies, more movie soundtracks, more movie topics. Probably several tangents, as we are wont to do. I'm sure we'll probably say it's completely out of pocket things about characters we think are hot. What else? We'll give out many, many awards, and we will bring back halftime next season.
Yeah, sorry, we just forget.
This season we just didn't do it.
We just gave up, and I have no idea why. So sorry, it's coming back.
We forgot the first time, and then it just stuck. So next season we will bring back halftime. And in the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Film Bros Pod. And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Alexandra Wide Eyes.
And you can follow me on Instagram at S. and on TikTok at Laurel Street.
And goodbye, guys. Have a nice break.
Have a good break.
Watch lots of movies.
Superman.
Watch the Fantastic Four, because we'll probably talk about it when we come back.
I can't wait for that.
Me too. Fantastic Four.
That was gorgeous.
Thanks. Hire me, Fantastic Four. I'll follow you around and sing the theme song.
I'll be in it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.